right, for this assignment, we're just going to learn how to upload videos or stories to the NAZ Today webpage. That's what we're looking at right here. Folks are going to come to our content in a variety of ways. The webpage is one way, and it's also a great place for us to kind of catalog all the information that's run over NAZ Today for the last few years. But what I want to talk about is how to get these videos on here in the right section. So we're running video stories on news, sports, lifestyle, a variety of things. We're looking here in this box, and you'll see that the 6 or 7 most current stories that have run on NAZ, so basically the previous night, are displayed here. And then also weather always shows up here. For anyone interested in learning more about stuff maybe that's run in the past, honestly, the last 3 or 4 years, all that stuff is cataloged in past these unique sections of the web page. So let's just say I was in a lacrosse game 3 years ago versus Loyola Marymount, and I wanted to look that up. And I wasn't an administrator or anybody particularly involved in this website. On the administrative side, I could just type in something like this and see if it shows up. Well, it's not in there. But let's just do that, lacrosse. And I can see all the stories on lacrosse that have run in NAZ Today, really since this website was founded, which is about 3 or 4 years ago. Our job is to make sure this content does get cataloged properly onto this website. Now, we use YouTube, and you guys have been working with YouTube primarily because YouTube provides us with a whole crazy amount of bandwidth absolutely free. So if I was at a professional newspaper or a television station, something like the New York Times or any local TV station, I probably wouldn't feel too good about giving YouTube all my video views. I'd house those on my own server, and I'd be sure to collect advertising that was giving me money for every single time one of those videos ran. We don't have the resources here at NAU to house all this content, which is why we put it on YouTube. And we just pretend that YouTube's our very own server. So that's the basic idea. To administer and to upload content on this site, we use a content management system. That content management system Blox is the Blox CMS. It's run through a company called Town News. I gave you guys login information for this, and I sent you all a URL that'll bring you to the login page for the Blox system. Go ahead and do that. Log in as yourself. Make sure you enter the password that I gave you. You're going to come to this page here. Click on this button here. Click on this button here. Make sure, well, you guys should just be in as NAZ Today. There might be a couple of you that have access to other websites. But click here. Make sure you're on NAZ Today. Just confirm. If you're not, you can change it to any of these different sites. All right, so I default to NAZ Today. And then the main place you're going to be doing work is here on the editorial section. And that will bring you to a page like this. Okay, this is every single bit of content that's run on NAZ Today for the past few years. You can see we have 511 pages of 20 some odd pieces of content per page. For every single thing that we post to YouTube or to the NAZ Today webpage, there is, let's look here, an editorial asset and then a video asset. And this will make more sense as we go through it, but you're going to create 2 assets. An asset is any type of editorial content that'll end up displayed on that web page. Again, we're dealing mostly with 2, which is this story asset or article asset, and then this YouTube video asset right here. Really, over the course of the semester, you want to be able to upload these assets after you've written the content in, I would say, under 2 minutes. Okay. I've seen people take 30 or more minutes just to upload this content, and that's usually because they don't have a good process. Learning a good process, learning how to get this stuff up efficiently is going to be one of the keys to your happiness this semester. It's the difference between spending 4 hours on this project every night and spending maybe an hour when you really get going. So the main reason for this video is to kind of show you guys this process. So let's go ahead and get started, right? I use different web browsers. When I'm online, I usually have at least 2 windows open. And the way I do that is I use the different browsers for different tools, all right? So when I'm working with Google tools, I use Chrome. This will remember my login information for Chrome, so it's easy for me to get in and out. And then when I'm working on Blox, I generally use Safari. It's just my habit. Just remembers my passwords for each of those, and they pop up, and it's easy to keep those separate. This will become important when you're working on social as well, but that's kind of a different story. But anyway, I like to use 2 browsers. So I'm working in Chrome, and I use when I'm working on my website. So what you'll do when you come onto YouTube is it'll just bring you to the general YouTube load up page here. You want to click here, make sure you're in as NAZ Today. You guys will have options to use YouTube as yourself, NAZ Today, and any other YouTube channels that you might manage. What you want to make sure you do there is that you're logged in as NAZ Today. Click on My Channel. That'll bring you to this dashboard for the NAZ Today page. You can do editing here. I find this video manager view the easiest place to do editing. Each night when you come in, you're going to see something like this. So a video, it'll have a thumbnail here and a slug. You're going to know from your team leader that you have 2 of these to work on, and so you want to jump in and work on those. So these haven't uploaded properly because those guys are just getting their training done this week too, so no big deal. What I'm going to do now, if I can remember, what I called this is I'm going to jump down to this video that we're going to use for this project. Oh, I typed in the wrong name. Oh, I spelled it wrong is what I did. There it is. Okay, so this is the video we're going to work on. And you can see here that I've put Greek text in. When you're writing content, which is what we worked on all last week, you've been writing in Microsoft Word, and the whole idea of that is it just made it easier for me to grade your content. When we're going for real next week, you're going to open this up. It's going to be blank. My advice to you is write your content directly into here, and we're going to talk about this as well, okay? Don't bother with Word, don't bother with anything else. Google, which owns YouTube, is giving you the same spell check tools and everything else that you need, okay? Tomorrow's lesson will talk about exactly how to do that. But anyway, once you get everything written, you move this content to public, okay? Now we're ready to get this onto Blox. First thing you're going to do is copy this video URL. And then you're going to go up into Blox here. There it is. And you're going to create a new editorial asset, which is going to be an article. Okay? And I did it wrong already. You're going to copy your headline right here. Okay? Punch that headline in there. And you're ready to go. So this will be, that story that we're using was a sports story. So right here you're going to add your tags, which identify what section that this should appear in. And for us, that's a sports story. And if you look closely, you saw that it was a lumberjack sports story. Use these tags sparingly. Okay, this is just straight up sports, and it's lumberjack sports. Okay, so you go ahead and you add that section. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to, so we've created that editorial asset I told you about. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a child asset, and that just means it's subordinate to the article asset. And this is our YouTube story. Okay, so you're going to go in here, scroll down, and click on YouTube. All right, and Blox has a really neat trick, and this is why I published that video, copied that video URL. Is that you can just put that link right in there, and it's going to automatically link this fully connected. Okay, everything else is more or less the same. Okay, this is already defaulted to Sports Lumberjack. Add that section. We're going to do one more thing with this particular YouTube video here, and we're going to add a flag that says featured. That's going to make that appear kind of in this box right here, featured stories. So we made the determination, and pretty much everything that you run every night is going to show up in this featured story. So we've decided that we want this thing to be the first thing people see when they log on to our website. So that's what that featured button does there. Okay, and then the last thing we want to do is just copy this content that you've written so hard, worked so hard on, and paste it into here. Okay? That's pretty straightforward. There's a couple more things that we're going to do here for the nature of this assignment. So let me show you that. First thing I want you to do here is just type your last name in first. Okay? So Thole practice Blox upload assignment. There you go. Piece of cake. The other thing I want to point out to you is that every single piece of content we have defaults to do not publish. And that just reduces the number of embarrassing mistakes we might have occur. When you're working next week, you need to be sure to unload this or unclick that, which means this will go public. Okay, which means that'll display on our website. We're not going to do that now because I don't want 20 different practice assignments uploaded to our website, but you guys need to be aware of that, right? So here you go, right? I've basically finished this particular project here. I've tagged it. I've put it in its right section. I'm going to save and close that. I'm going to do the same thing here, right? So our headline's already in there. I'm going to paste it in there, okay? And then just for the nature of this assignment, put my last name on there. And I'm not going to unclick that, although in next week we'll always be sure to unclick that. So forgetting that is always one of the most common problems. And then save and close. So even while narrating, I've kind of only taken maybe 3 or 4 minutes to do that. Let's run you through super quick and just see exactly how fast this can be. So create a new asset. I'm going to start with an article. I'm going to type in my headline, punch it in there. I am going to get it in the right section, which in this case is sports. You don't flag the article asset, and we can, anyway, just don't do that. I'm going to click on related. I'm going to create a new asset. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to create YouTube. I'm going to click back over here, right? That's fast because I have that window super easy. Set video ID, paste it in there. It automatically fills a bunch of content for me, which is awesome. This is defaulted now, and I want this to show up in that featured section. Oops. I made a mistake. And then here you go. You just get your copy in there. Okay, real world. I'm going to go in, do not publish that. Save and close. Okay. This one's all done, right? Everything I need on here is done except that copy. Click that in there. do not publish, and click that in real world, save and close. I'm done. Boom, that took me 2 minutes. That's it. That's your assignment. This is going to be a lot harder for you guys. Do it in class. I'll walk around, show you how it works, and I'll give you some evaluation when you're done.